In this video, I'm going to talk about stability. And first of all, I've got two objects, a Lego pencil and a Lego little sheep, and I'm going to try and knock them over. So take a guess as to which object you think will fall over first. So if I shake the ground, the Lego pencil goes really quickly. So we already know in our heads when an object is stable or not stable, but now we have to figure out why we know that. So I'm just going to point out the differences in the two shapes. So first of all, the sheep has a very wide base, whereas the pencil has a very small base. And last week we learned about centre of gravity. And if we think about centre of gravity, the sheep's centre of gravity is probably about here, quite close to the ground, whereas the centre of gravity of this Lego pencil is quite high. So the object that falls first has a high centre of gravity and a small base, and the more stable object has a low centre of gravity and a wide base. So let's just have another demonstration of that. Okay. And when we play sports, if we are trying to be in a position where we won't be knocked over, the first thing we actually do is widen our feet, separate our feet so we have a wide base. And we also bend our knees so that our centre of gravity is closer to the ground. So those two things keep us nice and stable and nice and safe. But why is this? So here I have my tissue and I have a bit of a plumb line here. It's just basically connected to the centre of gravity of the tissue box and a piece of string and then a button just to make sure, and no matter what I do, that button will always fall vertically downwards. Okay, so let's start off here where we have a nice wide base and the centre of gravity is probably about 5 centimetres from the ground. Now I can actually tilt this box and let go and it will still return to its stable position. But if I tilt it too far, again, if at this point, if I let go, it will still return to its stable position. But if I go to the point where I am no longer, the vertical line that's drawn from that centre of gravity no longer passes through that base, then what's going to happen is when I let go, that box is actually going to land on the side where the line of action of the centre of gravity passes. Just like that. Whereas if I'm just slightly over this way a little bit, that line from the centre of gravity, the line of action from the centre of gravity will pass through the stable base, and if I let go at this point, it lands on its stable base. So the position of the centre of gravity is very important for stability. And if we have a nice low centre of gravity, then that means that it's more likely that this line will pass through the base. And if I have a wide base, then it's more likely that this line of action from the centre of gravity will pass through the base. But let's try it the other way. And as you can see, first of all, we have a higher centre of gravity. It's probably about maybe 12 centimetres from the ground. And also we have a shorter base. So I can probably tip it to about there. There's my line of action, vertically down, and let go. Oops, no, apparently not. Let's try that again. If I let go, nope, still doesn't. If I let go now, it will turn back to its stable position. But if I tilt just a little bit further, like we saw, and this is nowhere near as far as before, much smaller angle that we can actually go to, this tissue box will no longer fall back on its nice stable base where we want it to be. Instead, it will fall to the other side where we don't want it. So the centre of gravity has a big impact on stability. A high centre of gravity and a short base means that the line of action will most probably not pass through the base and the object will topple. Whereas if we have a low centre of gravity and a wide base, we can actually tilt the object quite a far distance. See, still stable. a very far distance, probably the whole way to there. Nope, still stable. A wee bit further. Oh, nope, still stable. A wee bit further until it actually topples. So we have a much more stable object if it has a low centre of gravity and a wider base. Thank you.